can't have fun, none of you can. Please have fun, none of you can.
Oh, classic ND. Ooh, what's this? I spot a conveniently placed note.
Dear Sawdust, it is within our best interest to inform you that you've been blacklisted from Killland due to acts of production homicide and quote-unquote reviving dead drama. Like, what are you, some kind of drama mama? Anyways, you've been blacklisted from hell because the devil just does not like your taste in cartoons. Like, really, who the fuck actually likes almost naked animals unironically? Regardless, hope you enjoy your remaining eternity in limbo forever. Sincerely, Staggy. Now in BS, Jonah wants you to come over for Dot Thursdays, says something about you owe him at least 3 weekends for being dead.
Damn! You mean to tell me that my attempt again to kill Ann was in vain? At least we have cable TV. So guys, we did it! We officially reached a quarter, 500 subscribers, 125 subscribers, and still growing! The human piece of shit forming a frowny face in the toilet speaking.
I swear, that is not a sight I needed to hear about, let alone envision. Anyways, hey Sarah, it's me, Lunatic, and I've come to tell you that I caused you to live, bitch.
But why though? I thought you hated me.
Exactly. We need a punching bag, and Jonah's already beginning to contemplate his life choices, so he's unavailable at the moment.
Okay, now it makes sense. Now, new question. Why did you spawn me at Atlantis?
What? All the Dragon Balls do is revive people. It doesn't say where they revive at. And besides, it can't be that bad.
The room is slowly flooding as we speak. And yet somehow I could do a commentary and it would still not even be close to filling up. Hey, Lunatic, you don't mind if I take your material, do you?
You do realize my video on bracket will come out first either way. Oh, you meant the video Umbrus did on Screwtack's top 10 worst Sonic characters. You know what? Fine.
OMG, yes, queen!
On one condition.
Are you serious? That's basically public suicide.
Alright, fine. Then I'll keep my material to myself.
Fine. Rukia is an objectively good waifu.
See, now was that so hard?
My lungs are bleeding as we speak.
Anyways, you can have the material. I'm going to go back to watching Naruto Ball Hakusho in class.
But I don't have the material. Yet.
For heck's sake, why the hell does it take forever to move this stupid box out of the way? Oh. It's because I already had it put there 30 minutes ago. I guess I could just open the damn thing and another segue to a commentary? Jesus Christ. Everything I do makes me end up in a commentary.
Trust me, man, I know the feeling. Sometimes it just feels like a never-ending cycle of pain, ear rape, and dead memes.
You done now? Now go to sleep.
Number 9.
Even in a series like Sonic, there's nothing wrong with having an edgy character to stand out from the rest. When Shadow the Hedgehog was introduced, we were on board with his rocket shoes and his frowny face all the way up until he died at the end of the game. But then he undied so that Sega could push him for years to come.
Hate to be a grammar Nazi here, but undied can either imply Shadow became part of the undead, or Shadow came back to life. Which the better way to describe that would be, but then he got resurrected, or revived. Because saying, and then he undied, doesn't really roll off the tongue.
You're right. This is you being a grammar Nazi. So why is this the main interjection, given how a nitpick like this is usually a side aspect of the main point in most cases? Also, undied can still get the point across, since it would imply the opposite of dying due to the un at the beginning. Like, sure, their wording still could be better, I won't deny that. But this was just poor placement for your point. Also, no, undied does not mean becoming part of the afterlife, that's what dying
means.
Now you could have been trying to say, and then they come back to life, which is just poor wording on your end, making you a hypocrite.
It wouldn't have been a real issue, except all Shadow's done since then is be a whiny, emo cartoon character. And why does Shadow have to be painted as Sonic's forever rival when we already had Knuckles?
You're going to say how Shadow is a whiny, emo cartoon character, but never tell us how Shadow is one. Now let me bring up how you say Knuckles was Sonic's rival before Shadow was, but here's the thing. Shadow is Sonic's arch rival, and Knuckles was just a rival. Keyword is was, because Knuckles is now Sonic's friend instead of a rival. Early on in Sonic Adventure 2's development, it was decided that one of the main themes of the game would be the dichotomy between good and evil, and to help explore that, the creators came up with new characters that would both assist Dr. Eggman and challenge the established cast of heroes. Shadow is also more evil-like than Knuckles. Shadow is still shown to be evil in a way in the cases of Sonic Forces and other games. Knuckles, from my point of view, is a character mainly made to add a third playable option in the original trilogy, so maybe that explains Knuckles' sudden character change.
Oh, Sonic Forces! You mean the game where the Shadow we saw being evil was a fake?
Another Shadow? He just disappeared.
That was a fake.
A fake? How?
To be honest, this point could have worked had you used a better example. Seriously, Shadow the Hedgehog, the game where you actually become the bad guy, is staring at you from across the classroom and you just ignored her for no reason, only for her to turn all tsundere on you and knock you across the hallway. Also,
now let me bring up how you say Knuckles was Sonic's rival before Shadow was, but here's the thing. Shadow is Sonic's arch rival, and Knuckles was just a rival. Keyword is was, because Knuckles is now Sonic's friend instead of a rival.
even though in the classic series, which is what Not Polygon is mainly referring to with this complaint, Knuckles was portrayed as Sonic's rival, mainly in Sonic 3 and Knuckles, or Sonic and Knuckles for illiterate normies, and did more in that game than be Sonic's rival, given how he was manipulated by Eggman to clash with Sonic, as well as how his story takes place after Sonic and Tails' story. Not to mention the amount of times that Sonic and Knuckles fight in games such as Sonic 3 and Knuckles, Sonic Triple Trouble, Sonic Adventure, Sonic Rivals, debatably Sonic and the Black Knight, etc., which can give someone the idea that Knuckles is a rival of Sonic. Now sure, you could bring up how Knuckles is more seen as Sonic's friend after the adventure games, with him assisting Sonic in games like Sonic Heroes, Sonic Generations, Sonic Forces, etc. But you don't, you just leave it at that thing you put on the table. And even then, you can be a rival while not directly fighting with someone, as both the definitions of rival state, and I quote, noun, a person or thing competing with another for the same objective or for superiority in the same field of activity. And verb, compete for superiority with, be, or seem to be equal or comparable to. And when we look at a scene from Sonic Lost World,
Did you get those animals back from Eggman?
Just the one container he tossed off his Eggmobile.
What?
Wait a minute, just the one? Weak. I would have gotten them all back by now.
Save the rest of them!
it would show that in a way, Knuckles can still be seen as Sonic's rival. There's also a problem that Keyboy pointed out in the script, that being that this whole interjection is just you throwing in your subjective opinion about Knuckles being Sonic's friend, which, no, that is not how this works. If you're going to debunk them, the least you can do is not use your subjectivity, weenus.
Shadow's pointless resurrection not
Pointless resurrection? Shadow never really died, but went unconscious. Heck, Rouge and Omega found him in a fucking status pod. I guess that Shadow can't be brought back because he's a bad character.
My dude, in the context of Sonic Adventure 2 onto Sonic Heroes, we see Shadow fall into the atmosphere, leading us to think he'll burn up to a crisp upon re-entry, in which we never see any foreshadowing that he would have survived it.
I believe I can fly.
Followed by the next game with him somehow surviving that and being a-okay. So that can still be seen as a cop-out. You know how you could have supported your point? Bring up how other Sonic characters have survived atmospheric re-entry before, those being Sonic and Tails. Twice, mind you. However, either way, this wouldn't change how the issue is that it felt like a cop-out so that they could bring back Shadow to appeal to the edgy 9-year-olds, otherwise known as the Jak and Daxter 2 fanbase.
only brought us one of the worst Sonic games ever, but he inspired legions of even edgier original characters. And while we're on that subject...
Oh boy. I cannot wait to see what we have in store here. Jeez, I don't even know what's going to come up next.
Number 8.
Sonic OCs! Your Sonic OC, their Sonic OC, all of them belong here.
So basically what you are telling us is that every single Sonic OC on the internet is a bad character. Also, why would you put fucking OCs on the list about official Sonic characters?
Now don't worry, I actually had a reason to let all of this play out. In fact, let's address it right now. Normally, when someone does a joke like this, it usually has some kind of payoff after we see that someone's expectations are shattered. Like, as an example,
この演奏断ち切らせてもらうぞテレビ
Hey there, bro.
I am the white void. I am the cold steel. I am the just sword. With blade in hand, shall I reap the sins of this world and cleanse it in the fires of destruction?
You want this raspberry?
I am Hakumen. The end has come.
Sure, I mean, I really hope that this doesn't make me drowsy, though. And I'm suddenly tired. Fuck you!
While here, your joke doesn't really have one, which makes it fall flat on its face. Heck, even doing the thing you did before would have at least made me say you were trying. But alas, 'tis the cruel world we live in. Also, there is the possibility that this might have been trying to make an actual point about how the transition is poorly done, and if that is what you're trying to say, then you don't explain how or why it fails, and would just be pointing out the issue while not giving a fix.
He's one of those people.
Wow.
The only thing more unbelievable than Josh the Hedgehog getting rich after moving out of the ghetto is how much merchandise robot Josh the Hedgehog has. And the only thing crazier than a Josh the Hedgehog coffee mug is three-headed Sonic!
This entire entry sounds like you're hating on Sonic OCs because all of them are bad, because they are Sonic OCs. Most of these Sonic OCs are by children. Children are still learning the basic of art. They also want to make their own Sonic character. It just seems like you want to whine about these Sonic OCs because how's the dumb look weird?
I mean, alright then, but does this mean that these OCs cannot be criticized? No, it doesn't. The problems the art has are still there. Them being children is just the reason it sucks worse than making Torterra a sweeper. Heck, I'd argue it's better to point out these flaws when they're still learning so that they don't make the same mistakes again when they become a better artist. Now, does Screw Attack do this? No, not really, but you're still doing a poor job covering the people who are making money off ripping children's entertainment.
Number 7.
Sonic Adventure 2 has to have one of the very best opening levels of any game ever. There's just one thing that's unforgettable about it. This guy will not shut up. He's so determined to pester you, he'll fly after you regardless of how much danger you're in. Omochao is a lot like Fee from Skyward Sword. If Fee read every single one of his lines like that chubby kid from Up. It's like he thinks you're so much of an idiot that he has to talk down to you like you're 3.
It's almost like Sonic is a kid's game. The original version of Sonic Adventure 2 was rated E for everyone. Sure was changed into re-released versions, but still, Omochao is there so you will learn the basics of the game. A lot of new Sonic fans came from Sonic Adventure 2, so don't see why they wouldn't have a character to help you.
I mean, alright, sure, it is there to teach people how to play, but the issue is that Omochao is annoying about it. Not that he's there to teach children how buttons work. You are paying attention, right? Well, you better, because there's a pop quiz later and your parents will be disappointed to find out you failed drama of all classes.
You'll never catch me, Krabs. Not when I shift into maximum overdrive. Hiya!
1 hour later!
I knew I should have gotten the turbo.
And does anyone else think it's weird that 6-year-old Cream is always in the same stuff as Rouge? I can understand Cream appealing to little kids, but Rouge appeals to, the dark corners of DeviantArt.
What? Please explain what stuff you are talking about? Christ's sake, how come every popular YouTuber doesn't explain their reasons these days?
Oh yeah, all these other popular YouTubers who don't explain their reasons these days, such as... Also, another major issue with this video is that Umbrus constantly asks the target for an explanation, which can be seen as a lazy man's way of commentating, given how all you're doing is asking for a citation that isn't needed, unless they don't support their stance and just say, cream is bad because raisins. But given how they spend this part of the video, and when you cut back showing smexy images of Rouge, gives the idea Rouge appeals to adult while Cream appeals to the Moe audience, so your explain card doesn't even work here. And I'm more surprised you do this instead of pointing out the actual flaw with Screw Attack's point. So if I can hit Screw Attack for a second, how would that be an inherently bad thing for 2 different character archetypes to be in the same game? Hell, I'd argue that would be a lot more interesting for the opposite to be in effect, as we could get some very unique interactions out of it. See pretty much any support conversation in the 3DS line of Fire Emblem games. See, Umbrus, was that so hard?
だそういうことじゃなくて
Take us to the next number, John St. John.
Number 4.
Spoilers! It doesn't tell us anything about Silver and Trunks, so people who don't know that much about Dragon Ball, like me,
I'd be confused.
Okay, so I have an issue with the placement of this point, as it suffers heavily from TOG-itis, where you're saying they don't go into detail on this info without showing us that they don't go into detail on this info. So for all we know, you could be lying to our faces. And even then, I saw the entry, and they didn't need to explain it, given how it's more of a side note before they go into their actual issues with Silver.
Number 4.
Not to beat a dead hedgehog here, but everybody knows what made Sonic 06 such a turd of a game. For now, we're just gonna complain about one of the game's worst characters, Silver the Hedgehog. Short version, you know Trunks from Dragon Ball Z? Silver is crappy Trunks.
So yeah, quit abusing the explain card. And yet people wonder why she's already had 5 failed marriages.
Silver got some random tip-off in the future that Sonic was going to destroy the world, and instead of using his time travel powers to very easily verify this claim, he goes back in time to just try to kill Sonic anyway. Also, this is petty, but Silver's face looks like a palm tree leaf. Go ahead and try defending Silver in the comments if you want to, but if you want to change my mind, just realize that it's no use.
So, basically, what you're saying is Silver spikes look dumb and look like a palm leaf. Oh, okay then. You also went on this pointless tangent about people defending Silver. Like, what?
I mean, I thought the point of their tangent was kind of obvious, said point being that they were trying to set up a means to comedically quote Silver's infamous line from Sonic 06, that being the "It's no use!" otherwise referred to as a Muda, which translates into a JoJo!
Sonic Unleashed will always be remembered as that one Sonic game that was almost good. Besides the Werehog levels, the second most prominent character in the game deserves to be shredded. Chip is a flying gerbil with amnesia, which means you basically babysit him the entire game. That would have been bad enough without his annoying voice chiming in all the time.
Again with the annoying voice point. You don't explain how their voice is annoying or anything, thus making us blindly agree with you.
I fail to see why they should explain this, seeing as how if someone finds another annoying is ultimately a subjective matter. As an example, sure, he may find Chip annoying, but I don't. Bam! Subjectivity. Like, sure, they could have explained stuff aside from the voice if that was your point. However, even then, they state after your interjection other reasons they dislike Chip, and even before you interject, they state that he wouldn't be as annoying if he didn't get as much screen time as he did. Also, what do you mean be forced to blindly agree with them? Bruh, I'm right here. First Mr. A, now this. Why is everyone hell-bent on denying my existence? Is it just because this avatar makes my butt look fat? And I don't really care for the rest of the video, so I'll just pull a plug here. If I were to give final thoughts, though...
Finally, another commentary.
Wait a minute, why is the video still playing? I just said it was time to pull the plug!
Umbrus, it's time to fucking die.
Okay.
Is that your boy Thanos Fortnite? Nay! I am the true wielder of the Infinity Gumdrops!
Hoel, I'm not feeling so good.
Anyways, if I were to give final thoughts, the most I've got is just make sure you understand what the target is saying, which sounds simple, I know, but a lot of your points could have easily been avoided if you just, I don't know, pay attention. Also, I know you're a child, Umbrus. I don't expect V Omega levels of points. Like honestly, I don't think anyone wants you to take a 2-minute video and turn that into a 16-minute quickie. All I am asking of you is that the arguments you do present affect the original video in any meaningful way. Which, don't get me wrong, there were valid arguments I skipped. He just did in one of the worst ways. Anything else I could add I've already said, so anyways, this is CeraDust, and I'm going to try to swim my way out of Atlantis. Alright, now where's that goddamn bubble shield at? Where the fuck is the bubble shield?